Alright, welcome back to another BH1 tutorial. So in this one we're going to be talking about how you can adjust the audio in your video clips and also adjust any effects, or add audio effects rather, to your audio to help clean it up and get it to how you want it. Alright, so we have a couple of clips here that I've already added in to my sequence. Now, if I play this real quick, this may be a little loud. Okay, let's say that I want that particular clip to not be as loud as it is. So we've got, I can adjust the volume of it, but when I hit volume here, all it says is that, right? So I've actually got to do something else. So when I right-click on the clip, I can go to audio gain. Now this audio gain allows me to adjust the gain of this clip. Currently it's set to -1. That's because of some other things that I've done, but you see it was still too loud. So instead I'm going to hit set gain and change this value to -10. Because negative is your volume's going down, positive your volume would be going up. So -10, I hit OK. Now when I hit OK, I want you to watch these waveforms down here and see what they do. So I hit OK. So you saw them shrink, right? So now they're a lot less visible. When I hit play, the volume is significantly lower in that one. Now this is not a perfect technique to use. Obviously it's just kind of guesswork, really. But I can again set the gain. Let's say that 10 was too low, I could do -5. Give that a test and see how that works. See if that volume is good for what I'm trying to accomplish here. Okay, now that's just adjusting one. But let's say that I have all of these clips that I'm trying to balance the audio of to make sure that they all don't go louder than a particular decibel level. So for this case, this is what I would use for if I had a lot of interviews, I had a lot of voiceovers. I've completed my entire video package, I have my entire sequence complete. All that's left to do is to balance the audio. I would come in and select all the clips. I can right click on them, go to audio gain, and then I would normalize all peaks. Now what this is going to do is it's going to take every single clip on here and adjust that clip based on the dB level I am choosing. So if you look at our audio meter on the right, 0 is at the very top. 0 is very loud. So you definitely don't want to make this a positive number whenever we set the dB level for all of our clips. So 0 is as high as it's going to go before it starts peaking. So I'm going to right click on them, audio gain, and I want to normalize these peaks. I'm going to put, let's say, -1 is normally what I put. And what that does is it's going to bring all of the high level video clips, high audio level video clips down to where their loudest portion of the clip is at -1 dB. And it's going to take all of my clips that are really quiet and soft, it's going to bring them up so that their loudest clip, or the loudest portion of their clip, is at -1 dB. So when I do that, you should see this audio move back up. It did. So that -5 that I put in earlier is actually gone. Like I didn't leave that. Once I did the normalize, it actually erased that. So if you just have one particular clip that's giving you trouble after you normalize everything, you can use the set gain to adjust one particular clip if you don't want it balanced against everything else. But this is typically the method that I use. I want to finish the entire sequence first, select all of my audio clips, right click, audio gain, and then normalize those peaks to again, I normally do -1. If you go back and listen to it and it's still loud, -5 is still good. Just remember, the lower the dB that you set it to, the higher your viewers are going to have to turn the volume up in order to hear what you're producing. So I can set -5. You can see all the waveforms dropped, and it's all dropped. Now, so the next thing I want to talk about are audio effects. So a couple different things that we will use quite a bit for BH1 and video editing is we want the audio to sound natural and not very jarring to our viewer and to our ears. Okay, so one example would be at the very end of a package, the very end of a particular video. We want the audio to sound natural. So we'll hit play here and let this one play out. And it just drops off. And at the very end of that, it was a very stark drop off to that audio. So what I want that to do is I want it to naturally fade out. So we use an effect called Exponential Fade. If we type up in our effects search box here, it says Exponential Fade. We click it, we hold it, and we pull it down. Now it doesn't let me put it on the video, but if I bring my mouse down, it will start to apply to the audio. You see that kind of shaded area that's showing where the effect is going to go. I can put that at the end of a clip. I can put it at the beginning of a clip. So I drop it there at the end, and now let's listen to this one more time. So it's a little more natural fade. You don't have that jarring where the audio just abruptly drops. The same thing works for the beginning. So all of a sudden his voice just emerges from silence. So we'll put an exponential fade at the beginning. Piece of pizza. And it naturally fades in to the audio. So this is if I have, the very beginning of my audio package or my video package, I want the audio to fade in. And then at the very end, I want it to fade. Now I wouldn't do this for just one clip. Obviously this would be like if I had all of these together, I would actually put the exponential fade at the very first clip and then on the very last one at the end. That way we have a fade in to our package and a fade out at the end as well. Okay, so the next one that we're going to use quite a bit is called constant power or constant gain. Now the purpose for this is if we have two clips, let's just take these two. Let's say I want to put these two clips back to back. Okay, so these are two drastically different types of audio that we're working with here. We have this one, which is basically a supplemental B-roll shot, and then this one we're shooting Mr. Stokely here that's talking to the entire Gear Club before they start their event. So let's roll it back and let's see where these two clips meet and hear what it does. So you can hear that the audio is vastly different. This one has a lot of background noise, and this one we're really trying to make out what he's saying. But when we swap from a lot of background noise to very little background noise, there's almost a blip in the audio that you can hear. It's like an unnatural sound. So we'll hear it one more time. Almost like a pop that you hear. Okay, so I want to get rid of that if I'm joining these two clips together. Now, this isn't obviously a clip that I would actually put out and use, but you're going to see instances of like this whenever you're moving from maybe two different types of talent voice usage. Maybe there's a stand-up over to a voiceover, or you're running from an interview into a voiceover. Anywhere where the audio background noise changes or the quality of the audio is going to change, you want to try to blend those two together so that you don't have this blip at the end. Okay, between them. So the effect we use is called constant power or constant gain. Really, for what we use, either one of these will work. There is a difference between the two, but like I said, for our purposes, it really doesn't make much of a difference. Now, what this effect does is it actually joins the audio from this clip, extends it into the audio of this clip, of the second clip. So the first clip has its audio extended. The second clip has its audio extended backwards. So it kind of blends the two together, but it can't do that if the video clips start and end where you're trying to join them. In other words, video clip number 1, this is the very end of its clip. Video clip number 2, this is the very beginning of its clip. So there is nothing past these 2 points for the software to work with. So in order for this to be successful, for us to successfully blend these two together, we actually have to roll back some of these clips. So we have to trim the end of the first one, and we have to trim the beginning of the second one. And when we do that, these clips still exist past this point. It's just our sequence isn't recognizing it. So when we combine these two, I can either, again, drag it, or I can do a little ripple delete here. Once they're connected like that, I can drop constant gain in. And when I try to apply it, I can apply it 3 different places. At the end of clip 1, at the end of clip 2, or directly between. Well, because we want these to blend together and we don't want to have a blip in the audio, we want to put them in between so it shows on both sides. We release it. Now let's go back and play, and you should be able to hear clip 1 blend with clip 2.
A couple pieces of pizza.
So there's no blip, there's no harsh change of audio.
A couple pieces of pizza.
So again,
It
makes your audio is a little more pleasant on the ears. It's not harsh. Say if we were jumping between these two, you hear a little pop. And in this one, we have these two joined together.
A couple pieces of pizza.
Okay. So anytime you're moving from background noise that's changing or different types of audio, maybe from a voiceover to an interview, or ambient background noise over to an interview or a voiceover, things of that nature. Anytime you're changing mic quality, audio quality, background noise levels, you definitely want to use constant power or constant gain to join these two clips together. And again, to show you, I could use either one. They both work the same. So we're still blending those two with our use gain or power. Again, for our purposes, they both work. Okay, so that's audio. That's how you adjust individual audio levels, how you balance audio throughout the entire sequence, and then also adding some audio effects to your video.